Hi, I'm Pam Hayes from Hayes Sewing Machine Company of Wilmington, Delaware, and welcome back to our creative videos. Today I'm going to do a quilt out of Make It Modern with 3-yard quilts. And the one that I'm going to be doing is called Tranquility, and it's that one right there. And if we pan over here, this is what you're going to do. So it's kind of broken down into components. This section here is going to be kind of unit or block A. You have a strip that is going to be a long strip when you're doing this quilt. It's kind of the width of the fold. And then you're going to have 2 pieces that you attach onto there. And then you're going to subcut them apart. This guy here, you're going to have basically mirror imaged of each other. So it's going to be part C and part D. So it's going to be just where you line things up to get it to be the mirror image, and I'll show you how to do that. And again, we're going to cut these sections, and then we're going to go and attach them to here. You'll notice when you kind of lay it out, she has 3 full sections. And then on this one, there are 2 full and then halves on either end. And then she alternates them. Or have it whatever you like. It's supposed to be tranquility.
Tranquility.
Tranquility. Do whatever you wish. Alrighty. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do that big... We're going to do this section. Okay, so this section here. And when we're working with that guy, we're going to go, and remember, I'm doing just a short little bit, but remember, you're going to have this is going to be the width of the fabric. Okay, and we're going to go and we're going to put the dark, this is a beautiful grunge that I liked. And we're going to put this guy together. And remember, we're going to be working with our 1/4 inch foot. So we're going to sew down. And I'm just going to line up every bit. You can press obviously in between each one, but right now it's not actually, they're not touching each other, so you shouldn't have any issue. Alright, so that's one side, and then we're going to go and we're going to do the other. And remember, whenever you're doing this on the actual quilt, you're going to have, you know, considerably longer pieces because you're doing them width of the fold.
What, you didn't want to sew all of those long strips in front of us?
Yeah, I didn't want to bore you to tears. Yep. All right, so again, all right, so you get the idea.
Hang on for a second.
All right, so I'm going to go and I'm going to press towards the dark, at least for that outer bit. We don't want the shadow of it showing. All right, so we have our place and we're going to go and I'm going to cut this 7 inches. Now, I should have allowed myself 7 inches. We'll see. So again, you're going to line it up. Get rid of the one piece. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Yes. Alrighty. So that is this component. And you should have 24 of these. So when you're all done, we're going to have 24. Now, when we're working with making this component here, so ignore this. So we are just focused on this 2 pieces, all right? That is unit B. So all we need to do is we're just going to sew down and again, remember, you're going to have the width of the fold.
Oh, these are going to be strips.
Yes, you're going to
then
have
you're gonna
a
cut 'em.
whole strip, and then
Okay.
we're cutting them apart.
Okay.
And on these, so remember, you're going to have basically 2 full widths across the bolt and a partial. All right, so that's what we're going to have. And then we need this to be 2 inches. Yeah, this one's better. That's the disadvantage of doing this in bits and pieces. All right, so 2 inches. So now what we need to do is we need to take and we need to make the mirror image. So I want to see which one of these I actually have. This one is unit C, so I need to make this one unit D. Sorry, had to look at the picture. All right, so I'm going to just stitch this side. And we're going to give it a press. All right, so can you see how we need to make it mirror image?
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yep.
All right. So, one is unit C. That's the first one she has you do. And then you're going to do unit D. And this part is going to be, again, mirror imaged of that. So you can see we're lining this up. And I also need to trim that, but I will do that in just a second. So that's going to be looking like so. Alrighty, so I'm going to take and again just trim that up. Okay, so now when we're lining this up, you can see.
Hang on for just a second, but I can't really see.
Okay, so that's what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have there.
Excellent.
Okay.
Got it.
These, once you have the C and D blocked together, and then you have this strips,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Okay.
So they've made it as simple as possible for us. So we're going to sew C and D together, and again, it's going to have the bit in the middle. Okay, so it's going to line up like that. I'm sorry, I keep moving it on you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to look to see what row you're on,
Okay.
as opposed to, are you doing partials
Sure.
or are you doing
And what are you doing? Partials?
partials? So I had to look though. All right, so you can see how I have a partial done. I have a complete one. And I need to make this a whole one. Oops. And I need to do one other thing. I need to sew, well, I can do it with this. I'm going to attach this guy. So this will be a hole. Now, when you're working with putting these guys together, Quilt Tech, do yourself a favor. I know Loretta's converted me, especially with these guys. Now on this one, you only have 2 that you really want to focus on. So it's just these 2. You'll see there's a seam in the middle, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'm going to have one flip one way and one the other.
Yep.
But these 2, it's going to show. Because we're doing a very high contrast. So
And that's what makes the quilt modern, really, isn't it?
So I'm focusing on those 2. The other ones should line up because, again, I'm going to...
I like the fabric that you chose, too. Very beachy.
Very beachy. All right, so what do we do once we get it? We line it up, take a look-see, and we check, and it looks actually pretty good. Now, remember, guys, or ladies, if it looks good from 3 feet, don't worry about it. If you are not, then
Quilt tack them all.
Quilt tack them all. You know yourself. If when you look at your quilt, the only thing you're going to see is that little hitch, then do it. All right, so we're going to line this up. And we're going to sew across. Again, remember, sew through your tacks. And what's kind of nice on this, if you like the idea but you don't want to do a whole quilt, if you do one strip, it would be really interesting for like a table runner.
Ooh, nice idea.
Yeah, so you don't have to, because this, it would be a nice
Oh,
width,
it would make
and
it
then just
stunning.
add
a little border to it.
a little border and you'd be done.
Yeah, that's
So,
nice. I like that.
It's kind of a nice option for you. Alright, so we're going to put that aside for a second, and we're going to attach this. So if you take a look, see on this one, there's nothing in the middle that we need to line up in any way, but we do need to do
those outside edges.
the outside edges for the tacks. So, like I said, just take the time, and you'll get a rhythm for it. And it's so much easier to take out a quilt tack if you need to than the whole seam. Alrighty. Looks good. Looks good. And those actually do look good, not the 3-foot roll. All right, so I'm going to give this a quick press. All right, so now remember, this is the one that is the half. So we have the two in the middle that are complete. So I have one half on there, and now I'm putting the other half.
Got it.
And on this one, you only have to do those two.
Gotcha.
So for quilt tacks, it's not actually, it looks way more complicated than it is. But you always tell your non-sewing friends it took you forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to sew this down. All right, so we have our row complete. We have the two halves, and then the two complete in the middle.
In the middle. I like it.
All right, so we're going to give it a quick press. And then we're going to attach it to the other 3 rows that we have. All right. So when we attach it, honestly on this one, it doesn't matter which side we attach it to because we have complete on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to line this puppy up and sew this seam on. I'm only worried about lining it up for the blocks, the actual big blocks. And I'm just pushing one seam allowance one way, one the other, just like a traditional 9-patch or 4-patch, you know. Just stagger your seams. And I'm just putting a couple clips in there so I know what seams are lining up. Okay. Could I have quilt tacked these? Sure. But
Would I have quilt tack these? Absolutely.
Loretta would, yes. For me, I'm like, yeah, we're just putting them. I staggered the seams, so it should butt together just fine. You know your twitch factor. You know what's going to make you.
Absolutely.
almost down to the end. All right. And look at that. That's so pretty.
It is gorgeous, Pam.
All right, so swing on over here with the camera for a second. Now remember, this is going to have borders. So they're going to do border number 1 is the darker material. All right, so that's what that's going to look like when we get it on. Number 2 is going to be the lighter. And then binding.
Oh, nice. I like the binding being the same as the focus fabric.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And there you go. All right. Have a good time making your quilt. See you next time.